Hi, I'm Jason Miller with the Chong Miller Group. As I record this, it is April 1st, 2020. It is National Census Day. And I'm recording this as a public service announcement to ask that you please engage in this very important decennial process. Many of you in the current environment are having to stay at home and figure out things to do, figure out how to be productive, figure out how to actually contribute. Well, this is a great way for you to give back and support those who are on the front lines of doing stuff. Count. Make sure every person in your household is counted. For those of you who are actually serving on the front lines, is however that's defined, whether that's in grocery stores or in hospitals or putting out fires or making sure that other people are staying home, you need to count as well. The census is supporting many of your jobs. Stand up, be counted. Every 10 years, the US Constitution requires that our government count every single person who is living in this country. And our Constitution also requires of every single person who lives in this country that we participate and we stand up and be counted. This is actually unusual in our Constitution. Most of the things that are granted to us in our Constitution are rights. We can choose to participate in them. We can choose to speak our mind or assemble with various people or engage in religious services or etc. This, however, standing up and being counted is a requirement imposed on all of us, every single person who's present inside the United States. So today is Census Day. A couple weeks ago, you would have received an envelope like this at the residence at which you live. Inside the envelope is a notification like this that tells you a particular 16-digit code to log in at my2020census.gov. When you log in, you'll enter that code and you'll be asked a few questions. The questions are non-extensive. They only take a couple minutes to complete. It's really critical that you complete these. Why is this important? Why am I bothering to tell you about this? Well, the count that occurs every 10 years is used for a variety of governmental purposes. It helps figure out how many representatives our state is going to have in the US Congress. It helps to determine actually how the boundary lines between those representatives' districts are going to actually be drawn with information that funnels down to the state. In fact, how we're going to be represented within the state as well. It's also information that gets used to distribute very large quantities of public money. Something approximately $700 billion a year is distributed to the states based on the population data that comes out of the US Census. That means over $2,000 per year, almost $2,100 per year per person who's counted in the census. As well, we have private businesses who use this data to figure out what their markets look like, how they're going to be able to market into their markets, how many people, customers, suppliers, etc. there are. Now that raises a question with regard to the data that you provide and the safety, the privacy, the confidentiality of that data. The census collects this data. The census collects it from each place where people live, so each residence. It attributes, or has you actually, as you fill in the information, include the names of the people who are living at that residence as of today, as of April 1st, 2020. The census then uses that information to make sure that nobody's double counted, but hopefully every single person is counted exactly one time. The census then takes that information and anonymizes it, pulls out all identifying information, pulls out the particular street addresses and just uses smaller block data like zip codes, but smaller areas. It pulls out all of the names. It pulls out anything that allows that information to come back to you as an identifiable set of attributes. Now, why does that happen? To protect your privacy and your confidentiality. As well, it's done to make sure you feel confident that you can participate and you can be counted. Some people are US citizens. Some people are permanent residents here in the country. Some people are more temporary residents. Some people may not have status. In all those circumstances, you are safe participating in this count. The disclosure of your personal information by a census worker is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine of the person who makes that disclosure for every single occurrence of a disclosure that they make. And that doesn't matter if they're disclosing it to a local government or a state government or to a different department in the federal government or even a different division in the Census Bureau. It all is private, confidential information. You can be certain that that information will not be disclosed and will not be used against you. So it's critically important you stand up and be counted. We need more than ever to make sure that we know how many people exist in Nevada, how many dollars we can collect from the federal government, how many services we can get from the federal government to keep us safe, to keep us protected, to keep us employed. These things are critical. This process takes place over a couple of weeks. You can do it today. You can do it tomorrow, but best if you do it today, just get it taken care of. Count for yourself, stand up and be counted for Las Vegas, stand up and be counted for Nevada. Most of all, stand up and count. I am Justin Miller with the Chong Miller Group. We help people buy and sell houses. We also help people count. Today, we need you to stand up and be counted.